You have to tear them down, brick by brick, stone by stone, step by step, inch by inch, and rebuild them on a firm foundation of freedom, justice, and equality for all people, brothers and sisters.
All right.
Okay.
Peace and black power, peace and black power. 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 Peace and black power. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, Intercontinental Ifa Tunde, most requested black scholar in the world. I am here live and direct at the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, your academy, my academy, our academy. Shout out to the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, Charlemagne for having me up on there again for a 5th time. Shout out to all my Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy donors. I just wanted to check in, let everybody know that all is well. We down here at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, trying to get the school ready for our children, brothers and sisters. We trying to get the school ready for our boys and then ultimately for our girls. You are looking at the picture Queen Mother around my neck. That's Queen Mother Amy Ashwood Garvey, who was there with the most honorable Marcus Garvey when he founded the UNIA ACL. She also was the co-chair of the Manchester Conference, the 5th Pan-African Conference in 1945 that took place in Manchester, England. So that's the Queen Pan-Africanist I got around my neck, one of the greatest Pan-Africanists of all time, who was a woman. All right, good to see you. Yes, sir. So we out here. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of love. I look forward to seeing y'all down in Nat Turner Land. I look forward to seeing y'all down in Nat Turner Land on Thursday, 3 to 7 for Baba Khalifa's birthday. That's Druryville, Virginia. I want to see y'all Friday, Las Vegas, Nevada, 2 to 8. Lecture, Q&A, book signing, Las Vegas, Friday, May the 14th in Vegas. Oakland, California. Can't wait to come to Oakland. It's been too long, Oakland. God willing, I will see you on Saturday, May the 15th, Oakland, California. Lecture, Q&A, and book signing. On May the 15th, Los Angeles, California. Sunday, May the 16th, Los Angeles, California. Sunday, May the 16th, Blessed Love Community Center on Vernon Avenue, 2 to 8. Palm Springs, California. That's 11 to 4. Palm Springs on Saturday, May the 22nd. South Bend, Indiana. Black Messiah Conference on Sunday, May the 23rd. You need tickets for LA. You need tickets for South Bend, Indiana. You need tickets for Los Angeles. You need tickets for South Bend, Indiana. Louisville, Kentucky, Garvey Day. Saturday, August the 14th, Louisville, Kentucky is Garvey Day. Haitian Flag Day on Tuesday the 18th, New York City. Haitian Flag Day. The Prince of Pan-Africanism will be in Haiti to stand in solidarity with all my Haitian Africans. Nashville, Tennessee, July 17th. Nashville, Tennessee, July 17th. We probably going to do Memphis the day before. No tickets are needed for Oakland. No tickets are needed for Vegas. No tickets are needed for Palm Springs. You can only buy the book at drumarjohnson.com. All the new book orders will be going out this weekend. All the new book orders will be going out this weekend. I heard that they shot our brother through the back of the head. The FBI is now going to investigate that one case. That's not good enough. The FBI is now going to investigate that one case. That's not good enough. The FBI is now going to investigate that one case, brothers and sisters. That's not good enough. President Joe Biden should be ordering a Department of Justice investigation into the systematic murder of defenseless, unarmed American Africans by white police. That's the investigation we need. We still want our brother's situation to be investigated. We still want our brother's situation to be investigated. They shot him in the back of the head and took his life. They shot him in the back of the head and took his life. We want that investigated. Yes, we do. But we also want a greater investigation by the Department of Justice, ordered by President Joe Biden, into the systemic assassinations of unarmed black people by white police. When is Joe Biden going to act for black people? When is Joe Biden going to act for black people? And I'm hoping all my black Democrats, I'm hoping all my Negrocrats are paying attention. I'm hoping all my Negrocrats are paying attention. I'm hoping all Negrocrats are paying attention to this. I want you to see how your democratically elected president is neglecting your people, just like Obama, just like Clinton. They no different than the Republicans. When it comes to black people, Democrats and Republicans are one team. When it comes to black people, Democrats and Republicans are one team. When it comes to black people, Democrats and Republicans are one team, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon, princesses. We're going to have to investigate. We're going to have to protest at the United Nations. The United Nations had a Geneva Convention in 1948. The United Nations had a Geneva Convention in 1948. The United Nations had a Geneva Convention in 1948. The Geneva Convention and the Genocide Convention outlawed genocide. You cannot conduct or commit genocide against a people. Allegedly, the Genocide Convention, the United States of America signed the Genocide Convention. So if the United States of America signed the Genocide Convention, if the United States of America signed the Genocide Convention, why in the hell hasn't the United Nations pressed charges against the United States government for the genocide of American Africans? I know the answer. White power, yes. America runs the United Nations, yes. The Rockefellers donated the land that the UN sits on, yes. But another reason why the United Nations has not pressed the U.S. for crimes of genocide against American Africans is because American Africans are unapologetically American. I'm going to say it again. The Negro is unapologetically American. I'm going to say it one more time. The Negro is, all right, sis, y'all be blessed now, little brothers. The Negroes are unapologetically American. And as long as we identify as American, we cannot appeal to the United Nations for justice. The United Nations is for nations. The United Nations is for nations. The United Nations is for nations. So if you do not recognize yourself as a nation, you cannot be heard, brothers and sisters. That's why the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey started his movement as a government. The Garvey movement was not a religion, it was a government. And the reason Garvey set it up as a government, one of the reasons, is because he wanted to make sure there would be no legal opposition to the Garvey movement sitting in to represent African peoples of the world at the, then it was called the League of Nations. Now it's the United Nations. You have to be a nation to go to the United Nations. So we as American Africans have to give up this so-called American citizenship that you value so much and has done nothing for you. I said we as American Africans have to give up this American citizenship that we value so much and has not done anything for us. I agree with some of the things that the Moors say. I agree with some of the things that the Moors say. I don't agree with all of it at all. You don't have to be a Moor. You don't have to be a Muslim. You don't have to put a red hat on your head in order to say that you're a sovereign people or that you represent a particular nation within a nation that has rights to human rights and the rights of nation. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, we have to organize and we have to energize and we have to mobilize. We have to organize and we have to energize and we got to mobilize. We can do this. African nations will not intercede on the behalf of American Africans until we show them that we are committed to investing in them. Okay? It must be a transaction. It must be a transaction, brothers and sisters. We can't expect Africa to risk everything standing up for us, and we've done nothing for Africa. When are we going to organize our money and systematically invest in the mother continent? When are we going to organize our money and systematically invest in the mother continent? When are we going to organize our money and systematically invest in the mother continent? We didn't come for war, we come for justice, but don't be pushing us too far. We may have to. We're going to have to do something, brothers and sisters, to force the president of the United States to pay attention to you, because Joe Biden thinks he's going to go through all 4 years and do nothing for the Negro. Joe Biden thinks he's going to go through all 4 years and do nothing for the Negro. And let me say this, because so many of you think that you're ready for revolution. You're not ready for revolution. You're not ready for revolution. You're only ready for a riot, brothers and sisters. Some of you are ready for the riot. You're not ready for revolution. You think you're ready for revolution, but you're only ready for a riot. Some of you think you're ready for revolution, but you're only ready for a reform. You ain't ready for revolution. You're ready for a riot.
You ain't ready for revolution. You ready for a riot. Make sure you hit that Cash App. $FDMG School. Hit that Cash App. $FDMG School. Hit that Cash App. $FDMG School. Hit that PayPal. PayPal.me/FD. Black Power. Black Power. Hit that PayPal. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. You're not ready for the revolution. You're ready for the riot. You're not ready for the revolution, you're ready for the riot. Let me tell you why I say you're ready for the riot, you're not ready for the revolution. You're even ready for a rebellion, but you're not ready for a revolution. See, some of you are ready for the riot, some of you are ready for the rebellion, some of you are ready for the reformation, but you're not ready for the revolution. See, the riot, brothers and sisters, see, let me break this down. Let me break this down. Let me break it down. Let me break it down. Let me break it down. Let me break down the 5 R's. Let me break down the 5 R's for y'all, because some of y'all think y'all ready for the big R. The big R is revolution. You're not ready for the big R. First, there is a riot. I'm giving you the 5 R's. I'm giving you the stages of revolution. The stages of revolution. I'm giving it to you right now. The first R is a riot. What is a riot? I'm in front of the Frederick Douglass High School. Make sure you hit your PayPal. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Hit your Cash App. $FDMG School. Join the Loyal Donors Club. Go to DrUmarJohnson.com and join the Loyal Donors Club. Mail your check or money order payable to the FDMG Academy. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Peace and Black Power. How we doing, King?
All right, great, man. I just stopped past to tell you stay encouraged, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate that, Bobby.
What the projection look like?
Hopefully we be done by the end of the summer with the renovations. Open up the school next summer. We want to do a festival, Black Power. We want to do a festival out here at the end of the summer, early September. We're going to block it off and have a big, unapologetically African festival.
2022.
This summer.
This summer.
This summer is going to be the festival. If we can get that HVAC and plumbing done, I think we're in a good space right now. I'm very optimistic. We have the whole May, the whole June, the whole July, the whole August. We got 4 months. There's no reason why that gym and that school on that side of the street shouldn't be up and ready by the end of August. And then we're going to start on this side of the street once we done that side. So the festival will be this September, and we can finish up those renovations.
Last question, I just want your thoughts because I follow you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a quick blurb. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, now be safe.
Stay up, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Will do. So, brothers and sisters, the riot is the emotional reaction to white supremacy. A riot is only emotional. A riot has no agenda. A riot has no agenda. A riot is a emotional temper tantrum. A riot has no program. A riot has no platform. A riot is nothing but emotions. I don't support riots. I don't support riots. And then after the riot, you have the revolt. The revolt is a little bit more political than the riot. The revolt is a little bit more political than the riot. The revolt is a little bit more political than the riot. How you doing there, beautiful? Good afternoon to you. The riot is a little bit more political because the riots, my bad, the revolt is a little more political than the riot. Let me stay focused. The revolt says we don't like the way we're being treated and we need to change. The revolt says we don't like the way we're being treated and it needs to change. So the revolt has a direct message to the power structure that we don't like the way things are happening. We don't like the way the things are happening. That is the revolt. So the riot is an emotional reaction. The riot is an emotional reaction to white supremacy. The revolt is still emotional, but it is quasi-political because the message from the revolt is we don't like the way we're being treated and we need change. So the revolt says we need change. The riot is a temper tantrum. The riot is emotion. The revolt says we need change. And then number 3 is the rebellion. The rebellion. The rebellion. The rebellion is not just emotional reaction. That's a riot. A rebellion is not just a revolt. The revolt says we don't like the way we're being treated and it needs to change. The rebellion is a systemic resistance to the institutional order. The rebellion is when black people organize and they intentionally resist participation. Do you understand? And accommodations from the institutions that deliver the white supremacy. So a rebellion is we ain't going to school. A rebellion, we ain't going to work. A rebellion, we ain't paying taxes. A rebellion, we ain't stopping for the police. When you have a rebellion, you rise up and you systemically reject participation in the oppressor's institutions. Riot is emotion. Revolt says we demand changes. Rebellion says not only do we demand changes, we not participating in anything until those changes are made. The rebellion says we not participating in anything until the necessary changes are made. So you have the riot, which is emotional. The revolt, which demands is change. The rebellion is when you resist. You do not participate at all in the institutional operation of white supremacy. And then we have reformation. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to reformation because reformation can be a sellout. Reformation can be a capitulation. See, the Reformation says, and I want y'all to pay attention. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand your number one scholar right now. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand the number one Pan-Africanist right now. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand the number one school psychologist right now. I want you to understand and understand and overstand the message coming from the Prince of Pan-Africanism. You have to understand these stages so you don't get caught. You have to understand these stages so you don't get caught. A reformation is when the oppressed believe that the institutions can reform themselves and deliver justice to the oppressed. Listen to me. I need y'all to understand this because we've made some mistakes and we won't be able to correct those mistakes until we understand and overstand and understand the mistakes we have made in the past, brothers and sisters. So I want y'all to listen to me. I'm on the steps of the Frederick Douglass High School of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. When you reform, when you agree to a reformation, you're saying that you believe the power structure can police itself, that white people have the ability to make the necessary changes to their systems and institutions to treat black people in an equitable and just manner. So in order for you to believe in reform, you have to believe in white people. I'm going to say it again. In order for you to believe in reform, you have to believe in white people. I'm going to say it again. If you believe that the criminal justice system can reform itself, if you believe that the economic system can reform itself, if you believe the school system can reform itself, if you believe gentrification can reform itself, if you believe the police can reform itself, you have to believe in white people because white people control all the institutions of America. Be careful of reformation. Be careful of reformation. Be careful of reformation. Now let's go to the final stage. Let's go over it again. There is the riot, the emotional reaction to oppression. There is the revolt, a quasi-political stage where you tell the power structure we need change. But you have not graduated to the point where you understand that change can't come from within. So peace and love, my beautiful African queen. Come on back here. Come on back here. Who that? How we doing, beautiful? Well, you know we bought these schools, right? We bought these schools 2 years ago, my beautiful African queen, and we now trying to fix them up. We working on that school over there. That's on your left shoulder. That's going to be the elementary school. And once we get that fixed, we're going to work on this school, which is going to be the high school.
Okay, but you're all boys.
All boys, and then we're going to open up to the girls after about 2 or 3 years.
Okay, good. It was good to see you. I just seen you on
The Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you look good too.
Likewise, beautiful. Keep me in your prayers because we got some difficulties ahead with the school, but we're going to make it.
You'll be all right.
I appreciate you.
Delaware's a little funny place.
It is. I'm learning.
You know what? It's changing.
Yes, ma'am.
They're doing more stuff for African Americans.
Glad to hear that.
You here, and you get the other black people behind you.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be all right.
Will do.
You'll be all right.
Thank you, Queen.
Good seeing you.
Likewise, baby.
Hear my prayer. And
Yes.
don't let them people worry you when they talk that mess about you.
I promise.
I always give the time. I say, you better leave my Omar.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate it. All right, love. Take care now. God bless you too. So, brothers and sisters, the riot, brothers, we must stay focused. It is always consciousness over the cookies and politics over the punani. The ladies will be there, but we have to do the work. And I'm telling black women this right now. I'm telling all my beautiful African queens this right now. Stop giving your cookies out to brothers who are not building in the community. I'm talking to all my beautiful African queens. I'm talking to my West Coast queens. I'll see you Las Vegas on the 14th, and Oakland on the 15th, and LA on the 16th, and Palm Springs on the 22nd. I'm talking to my down south queens. I'm going to see you in Fayetteville on June 4th and Statesville on June 6th. You understand? I'm talking to my East Coast queens. I'm going to see you New York City on Haitian Flag Day on May the 18th. Nat Turner Land, Virginia. I'm going to see you the day after tomorrow. But I'm talking to all black women. Stop making love to coons. Stop giving your womb to coons. I'm going to say it again. Stop giving your womb to the coons, because when you give your womb to the coons, you have a coon womb. And when you have a coon womb, black woman, you can only give birth to baby coons. So stop giving your womb to the coons. I mean it, sisters. If y'all stop making love to brothers who ain't building for the community, if y'all stop making love to brothers who ain't working for the community, if y'all stop giving out your French vanilla cookies and your banana cookies and your lemon cookies and your butter pecan cookies and your butter almond cookies and your caramel cookies and your sweet brown sugar cookies and your chocolate fudge cookies. If you stop giving out your cookies to the brothers before they do the work, sisters, we can get some work done. So black women, please stop making love to brothers who ain't building. You got to make love to the brothers who building. I once had a sister in Chicago, my first visit to Chicago. If you go back and watch my first Chicago interview of September the 18th of 2010, my first Chicago interview that is responsible for the birth of the Prince of Pan-Africanism on September the 18th, 2010, anniversary of Booker T. Washington's Atlanta Cotton Exposition speech. You'll hear sister on that television interview with Dawa Yisrael. The sister says, Dr. Umar, you need 9 wives. The reason she said Dr. Umar needs 9 wives, because I should be able to make love to 9 women with the kind of work that I'm doing, but I only want 2 queens. But let's get back to the focus here. Women, stop giving your womb to the coons. I mean it, black woman. Stop making love to brothers who ain't building for the community. The riot is an emotional reaction to oppression. The revolt is when you demand change from the power structure. A rebellion is when you stop participating in that power structure. We're going to have this school ready for your son in a couple years, Queen. And a rebellion is when you stop participating in the power structure. You ain't participating in the institutions. You disrupt. A rebellion, you bring the whole system of white supremacy almost to a stop. Almost. But it's what you do next that matters most. Are you going to have a reformation or a revolution? It's what you do next that matters most. Are you going to have a reformation or a revolution? When you have a reformation, you believe that white people can change the systems and make them work for black people. That's the reformist. A lot of you are reformist. And I'm not going to knock you if you're a reformist. I'm not going to knock you. But I don't know how you can still be a reformist after 400 years. I'm not going to knock you, my Democrats. I'm not going to knock you, my Republican Negroes. I'm not going to knock you, my NAACP. I'm not going to knock you, my Urban League. I'm not going to knock you, my Congressional Black Caucus. I'm not going to knock you, my black elected officials. I'm not going to knock you. But I want to understand how a black person can still believe in reform after 400 years. I want to know. After 400 years, how can you still believe in reform? So stage 5 is revolution. Stage 5 is a revolution. Revolution says, I might be emotional, but I'm not going to stop there. Revolution says, I might demand some change, but I'm not going to stop there. Revolution says, I might resist participation and accommodation in the power structure, but I'm not going to stop there. Revolution says, reform is not possible, and the only way change can happen is if we tear down all the institutions of racist America piece by piece and rebuild them on a solid foundation of freedom, justice, and equality. I said the revolutionary says you cannot fix the institutions. The revolutionary says you can't fix the police department. You can't fix the school system. You can't fix the criminal justice system. You have to tear them down, brick by brick, stone by stone, step by step, inch by inch, and rebuild them on a firm foundation of freedom, justice, and equality for all people, brothers and sisters. So, do you just want to revolt? Do you want to riot? Do you want a rebellion? Do you want a reformation? Or do you want a revolution? I ask you again, do you just want to have a temper tantrum, my rioters? Do you just want to demand some change, my revolters? Do you just want to sabotage the power structure, rebellion? Do you think white people can change on their own, reformationists? Or do you want a revolution? Do we have to tear it down brick by brick and rebuild it? The question is yours. The question is for us as an African family to come together and decide just how we're going to carry out the change. We got to debate. We got to talk. We got to discuss. Do we need a riot? Do we need a revolt? Do we need a rebellion? Do we need reform? Or do we need a revolution? Which one do you want? Which one do you want?